Well, hey friends, welcome back for another drawing lesson. I have to tell you, I think this silly monster drawing lesson is just about my favorite, not just because they turn out cute, but every time a student does one, each little silly monster is special and unique, and I love it. Let me show you a couple I've been playing with, and then we'll do the drawing lesson together. Aren't these cute? Maybe your silly monster has a horn, or he has two horns, or he has antennas. Maybe he has one eye or two eyes. Maybe he's sleepy, right? Maybe his teeth are sharp, or maybe they're kind of a rectangle shape. Maybe he's got eyelashes. Maybe he has spots. There's rectangle teeth, right? And maybe his tongue is sticking out and just has eyes that are silly, right? All right, so let me show you the basics for how we'll do a silly monster drawing. The paper is usually kind of small. I think that does make a little bit of a difference this time because we're going to try to draw from side all the way to the other side. So you don't have to have a really big piece of paper. These also look cute because they're on a square piece of paper. You use the paper you can find, but again, probably kind of small because you want to draw these from side to side. The reason we're doing that is we're pretending that your monster's just kind of peeking up over the page, right? We don't see the whole monster, we just see the top of him. Okay, so that's why that's kind of important. All right, we are experts at drawing now. We know that it's okay to practice with our pencil first. We know that you don't want to push too hard in case we need to erase. It's easy to erase your pencil lines. Okay, so the very first thing you want to think about doing is Miss Broderick says it's called an arch. It might remind you of starting to draw a rainbow. So from this side of the paper all the way across to the other side of the paper. Okay, kids, so that would be your first line that you're going to do. After you finish this line, it's time to think about what did you want on top of his head? A horn or an antenna or a tuft of hair, right? That's cute too. If you've done a lot of practice on drawing, you could try something that is harder, like a tuft of hair. But if this is like your first time drawing, maybe we'll just stick to something easy like an antenna. For this one, I think I'll make it curly though. We can do a curly antenna and maybe a circle at the end of it, and maybe a curly antenna and a circle at the end of it. Again, you don't have to do antennas. I'm just doing an idea. You are welcome to do whatever design you want on top of his head. And again, you can always rewind the videos to look at the ideas, and I'll try to leave some for you at the end of the video too to give you some more ideas too. Like see there's a horn. Here was one single tuft of hair. This one was little tiny horns with antennas. Those would be the hardest to draw, I think, just because they're curly. I do like these antennas because they look like they're beeping. Okay. So again, if I go too fast, remember, always pause the video and then you can press play when you're ready to move on. All right, so step number 2, after you decide what you wanted on top, that was step number 1, is the eye. So you saw in my examples, it could be one eye, two eyes, or even maybe up to 3. You certainly could do more, but remember, the more eyes you draw, the more you'll still have to trace it and color it, and that's usually more work than what children want to do. So I think on this one, I feel like 2 eyes, but maybe I'll do one bigger and one smaller. I still need the pupils, so maybe since he's silly, maybe this pupil will be looking this way and this pupil will be going up. It'll be looking that way. Again, that's just one idea. I've seen this one already. An eyelid. That's the one with 3. The trick to drawing an eyelid is just a line across the eye. The trick to making him look like he's sleepy is the pupil touches the eyelid. Or like this, so he doesn't look like he's sleepy. Like this, how it touches the eyelid. So you can do the eyes the way that you want to. I don't think I have a nose on these others. And maybe yours doesn't need one, but for me right here, doesn't this look like it just needs a little round nose? Well, I'm going to add one to that one. Again, you don't have to. Whatever your drawing feels like. There's more eyes there. Okay, so antennas was step 1, eyes are step 2. And finally, the last part of the drawing is thinking about the smile. Again, because they're silly monsters, I really didn't want you to make a sad face. I do have one somewhere. I'll try to find it that's kind of a straight face. That's okay. But we really want these to be cuter. Oh, I found him. Hold on. All right, so here's one with a really big smile. And notice he has one tooth that's the shape of a rectangle. Or his smile is off to the side, and he has one tooth, but it's a triangle, right? This was kind of cute. Had a really big smile, but one tooth in the middle. Here's my sleepy guy. It wasn't that he's sad, he's just still kind of looks like he just woke up, right? His hair is still a mess on top. He's sleepy, and his mouth is just straight, but I gave him lots of sharp teeth, right? Cute one, little baby tooth. Of course, the rectangle ones are my favorite. So a smile and a tooth. Let's see what mine looks like today on this one. I'm thinking again, this might be a little tiny smile with one little baby tooth like that. What do you think? I think it's cute. I bet yours is cute too. And that's it for the drawing lesson. If you do spots, that's okay too. Again, I wouldn't put too many spots, then they do kind of get confused with the spots or the eyes. Okay, so how about this one? I'll give him like a medium spot over here, a smaller one, and then a smaller one. Maybe he's got some spots over there. That'd be kind of cute. Okay, all right. That's the drawing lesson of how to draw a silly monster. Before you add color, remember my trick is we're going to want to pick a black or a purple crayon today, one that's dark. So a black or a purple, and you're going to want to trace all your pencil lines so they will still show up when we add color. So let's see if Miss Broderick can find one of her black or purple. I've been kind of doing the purple with the other kids in class. There's a good one. So here's what I mean. All the pencil lines. And usually when kids are doing pencil lines, they're really good on remembering this one on the outside. Oops, sorry. But then they forget all of these too. Now, if you're doing dark, you could still do the pupil. Remember, the black part of our eyes is called a pupil. You could do it in purple. I will do that one in black. I'd like his pupil to be black and pupil to be black. Okay, but I am going to do the rest of my pencil lines in purple. Let me take a moment to do that. All right, then I think we're ready to add color. Our goal for the first lesson is just to color the silly monster. Let's wait for the background because I'd like you to try something we've not done. We'll either try it with some marker and some water, or we'll use watercolor paint. But I'll tell you more about that in the next lesson. Today our goal is adding color to our silly monster. So it will be something like this, right? I'm leaving the background white. I'm not going to do that yet today, okay? But our silly monster gets a color. Now, I do kind of like this purple, so I do think I'm going to make his spots that really dark purple. That would be fine. And, maybe, let me think a minute. He needs his bright nose to show up. That would be cute. And then I think his color is going to be this, what's it called? Yellow green. I like this one a lot. Okay, kids. So I'm going to put the video in fast forward while I color in my little silly monster. So you can watch or you could skip that part. Friends, my hands got tired when I was doing that coloring. So if your hands get tired, you can always take a break too. Isn't he cute? So cute. I missed a spot. Let me see if I can get those. Don't want to miss a spot. There we go. All right. Pretty cute work today. So again, save these silly monsters. The first graders are making color monsters. That's why I accidentally keep saying color monster. You're making silly monsters. Save those for your next lesson and we'll talk about how to add some color to the background. Good work, kids. Bye-bye.